Level check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you're listening, it's 7:14. This is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer getting ready for the streaming weather show, scheduled at 7:15. Let's see, we've got Roku up and running, Samsung TV is up and running, Apple TV is up and running. It looks like everything's running just fine. Hopefully, if you're getting ready to listen to this, you're able to hear it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I know what I've got to do. Got to restart the weather computer. So let's see. It's 7:14. I should be with you in under a minute. I've got to add a few more graphics here quickly to the weather program. Okay, there we added those. Okay. Added this one. All right, it is 7:15. Hi, everybody. I'm meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer coming to you from the streaming center at Fox 19 now. I'm coming live. And overall, we have a very, very interesting couple of days ahead of us. Now, let's see. I've got all the buttons pushed. Everything should be doing just fine. And the weather computer is starting up right now, and I'll be with you here in just a second. Okay, so today is another one of those things we call a First Alert Weather Day. First Alert Weather Day is a day that the weather should, we're trying to grab your attention to let you know that the weather is something you should pay attention to. And by now, First Alert Weather Days for heat index values over 100, kind of old hat. We've had so many of them, and tomorrow will be the last one. Okay, for a while anyway. The last one for heat. As we head out to the next 2 weeks, we don't see heat index values going over 100 for a while. So First Alert Weather Day today and again tomorrow, and then it is all over. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw this behind me here. I'm going to show you a full screen in just a minute. Notice the time is Monday at 8:22. Okay, and what we're looking at here is we're going to look at sunset. Now, a lot of people may have seen sunset yesterday. If you have, this is just a repeat. So we are here at Turfway Park. Out here is CVG. Right there's the control tower. You can see that right there next to that light pole. And just watch what happens here when we put this into motion. Okay, so here's full screen, and here we go. Okay. Now, just watch what's happening. Look at the sky beginning to turn color. Just watch how bright it gets. It's just amazing. Even the track is lighted up at one point, and then you see it gets dark as the sun finally goes down below the horizon. Now, what's going on here is that when the cloud cover is high enough above the ground and it's clear for miles and miles and miles off to the west, the sun sets below the horizon. So the sun is already set. But because the cloud cover is so high, the sun's rays, at the surface you don't see them because you're already in the shadow of the earth, but the sun's rays come and directly illuminate the clouds from below. It's kind of weird sounding, because you think of the sun as up here illuminating the clouds, but when you get to sunrise or sunset, when the sun's still below the horizon on sunrise or has gone down below the horizon on sunset, and there's a lot of clear air and the clouds are high enough, they've got to be high enough in the air, you'll be able to see that the rays of the sun can actually illuminate the clouds from below, which is kind of a weird feeling, thinking that the sun 93 million miles away is illuminating the clouds from below. But it does happen, and it happens just for a few minutes. So I'll tell you what, why don't we go back and look at that again? Okay, so the First Alert Weather Day graphic pops up. So we'll go to we'll go to the animation here now. Now you'll see that it looks like the brightness travels, and that's exactly what happens because the sun's rays are here, and as it gets lower and lower in the sky, you see less and less illuminated. So put that full screen, and we'll watch it one more time, starting at 8:22 p.m., and here we go. Now just watch how fast. You see the glow out to the west. That glow progresses eastward. You end up with the track right there lighted quite a bit, and then everything settles down as the sun completely sets. So it's just kind of a wild, kind of one of those wild things that happens. You don't think of it if you just, in a normal event, looking at clouds and the sun and all that, would think of the clouds actually being lighted by direct rays of the sun from below. That's because of the geometry of this whole thing, and it can happen, but it only happens for a few minutes. So, and we call that sky on fire. Now, I don't know if all meteorologists call it that, but it's what it looks like to me. I call it sky on fire. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the heat alerts. The National Weather Service has extended their heat advisory on into tomorrow evening actually, at 8 p.m. And that's for heat index values up to 105. There have been some a little bit hotter than that. Those are those particular microclimates around the tri-state, though. And the future heat index tomorrow at 4:30 p.m., same as today, upper 90s to low 100s. Some spots, some of those agricultural microclimates like Batesville, Lebanon may see 110 or 112, but that's because of the crops transpiring moisture right near the runway where the observations are made. Okay, so here's what it looks like. If we go out 7 days for the dew points will peak Thursday at 72. That's 5 p.m. They drop off to the 50s. That's really, really nice. Dew points in the 50s are really nice around the tri-state, actually around anywhere, not just the tri-state. So let's go back to that. I hit the wrong button on the keyboard, and it does not want me to go back. One more time. Okay, it's not going to let me go back, so we'll just go on with this. But you saw that dip with dew points in the 50s for the weekend. It's going to be an ideal weekend. If you've got outdoor plans this weekend, you picked a good weekend to do that. Okay, now here's another little interesting thing you see. Notice the cloud cover here flowing north and eastward with the upper level winds, okay? And then look at the other clouds heading south right here. So these are the small cumulus clouds near the surface. Surface winds are out of the north, upper level winds are out of the south and west. And that's really something interesting. Most people really shouldn't be surprised by that because even the ancients knew that. The ancients would see the high clouds go one way and feel the wind coming from another direction, so they knew that the atmosphere didn't all flow in one uniform direction, that it changed. And one of the other things, and this was a lot later than the ancients, but when Krakatoa blew up, they could see some of that ash that was ejected way up into the atmosphere go off at a very fast clip, so they knew about the jet stream too. They saw those high winds because they saw that ash go flying at 150 miles an hour. And so the ancients knew that the winds blew in different directions at different elevations in the atmosphere, and even in the 1800s from volcanic eruptions, and that particularly Krakatoa, because that was a little bit later, they were able to observe high-speed winds up in the atmosphere, and they didn't really realize what a jet stream was or how it worked, but they knew there were high winds up there. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, so here we are, airport temperatures. Still 90 in Middletown at Hook Field, 90 in Hamilton at the Butler County Regional Airport, both CVG and Lunken at 89. Madison, you're at 90. 87 in Maysville, Falmouth at 88, 84 in Wilmington, Springboro 88, and 88 in Batesville. Now, if we take a look at the heat index values, the Batesville heat index 102, 105 in Lebanon, 100 at Lunken Airport, Madison at 98, Middletown's 100. So there are still spots at 7 p.m. that have heat index values at the 100-degree mark. Now look at the dew point temperatures, and again, we're talking here about particular microclimates. The dew point temperature in Lebanon, 81. If you look at an aerial of that airport, surrounded by crops, transpiring moisture and increasing the moisture in the atmosphere. Batesville, same situation, surrounded by crops with a lot of transpiration taking place. Madison's another interesting, they've got a lot of crops around them too. They're near the Ohio River Valley. Both Hookfield and the Butler County Regional Airport in Hamilton are in the Little Miami River, or the Great Miami River Valley. Lunken in the Little Miami River Valley, and all these different microclimates tend to change the heat index because the dew point changes. And that's one of the things about heat index. It's very much microclimate oriented. So you go to Lunken Airport, you have a heat index of 100, but you go to CVG, it's only around 90. Lebanon, the heat index is well over 100 sometimes. That's because of all the crops in that there. And so the heat index, it's very natural for it to be that different from one location to the next, and they don't have to be that far apart. Okay, so the 24-hour dew point change, notice I don't see any that have gotten, it's either 0 or a couple degrees less. So the dew points have eased up a little bit. That's why not as many areas have had those dew point or those heat index values very high. Okay, now these are local weather station temperatures. If the circles doesn't have a number in it, if it's all black, it's because they haven't reported. But you can see 90 in Greensburg, the temperature, 89 in Oxford, 89 at Enon, 93 in the Middletown area. Down at Brooksville, 87, 82 in Blue Creek, 91 in Owenton. Let's look at the heat index values. Owenton, 107. Now remember, all these are specifically tell you that there's something in the local environment that makes the dew point higher and creates that higher heat index. Batesville, we know about. Middletown, we know that Middletown's, even though the number's way up there, we know that's in the Great Miami River Valley. 104 in Crittenden, so it's hot out there. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We go into tomorrow, by 10 p.m., nothing's really happened. Now, you might have seen where the Storm Prediction Center has put out a convective outlook saying that there's a marginal risk of severe weather from 7 a.m. tomorrow into 7 a.m. on Thursday. I'm sorry, 8 a.m. tomorrow into 8 a.m. on Thursday. That's daylight saving time. But this particular model, not only this one, but a bunch of others that I've looked at have no precipitation in here till past 5 p.m. tomorrow. So let's go back, put this back into motion, and you'll see that we do have some shower and thunderstorm activity moving in, but notice it's not until like 5:30 p.m. Thursday. And so the Storm Prediction Center has us in a marginal risk of severe weather from 8 a.m. tomorrow to 8 a.m. Thursday. And I just sent a message out to the weather staff, and I said, hey, be careful with this SPC outlook because I don't see any models supporting it, and I don't really see what's going to happen the same way they see it. I think it's going to hold off until we get into the late morning or afternoon hours of Thursday for the chance of severe weather. And so that's one of the things we have to watch, and it's another reason Catherine Bodak will take a look at that tomorrow morning and see what happens. But right now I'm thinking it's going to be Thursday, not Wednesday. And Wednesday may be more rain-free than anything else. And there you see behind me, you see that the shower activity Thursday peaks, pushes off to the south and east. The dew point's down to 66 Friday. So Friday evening with the lowering dew points, with a fresh breeze, will be very nice out there. Saturday, we head on into, look at that, the 55-degree dew point Saturday morning. That's really comfortable. By the time we get into Saturday at 6:50 p.m., still in the 50s. So great weather Saturday. The dew points begin to come up a little bit Sunday, but still a really nice weekend ahead. And then as we head into Monday and Tuesday, the chance of showers once again increases. So this evening, it's currently 89. We should drop to about 80 by 11 o'clock. No rain in the forecast this evening in the tri-state. Overnight, down to about 75 degrees for the low. So a very muggy, sticky start to your day on Wednesday. And then Wednesday's high 92. That is 6 degrees warmer than the normal high. Low temperature of 66 is about 6 degrees below what we have, actually more than that. That is about 9 degrees below what we have forecast for the low tomorrow morning. So tomorrow's going to be a good 7 to 10 degrees warmer than normal around the tri-state. Okay, the daily run for the 6 to 10 day outlook, August 4th to the 8th. From the Climate Prediction Center says that will be a little bit warmer than normal, not a lot warmer. For the 8 to 14 day outlook, we're going to be warmer than normal again, and warmer than normal as we head to the 24th. So it looks like a warmer than normal month of August coming up. Now this only goes out to the 24th, so it looks like at least most of the month of August is going to be on the warmer than normal side. Not heat wave warmer than normal the way it's looking. It just looks like it's warmer than normal. And we'll look at some numbers on that coming up. All right, the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook has us in that light green, so a little bit greater than normal precipitation, 4th to the 8th of August. Okay, if we head a little bit farther, 6th to the 12th of August, still a little bit wetter than normal, and then near normal as we head to the 24th. And so I guess the most important thing on most people's minds, based on the questions I've gotten, is are we going to have another extended heat wave? Well, we're just getting out of one now. We don't see another one for a couple weeks, maybe even longer. And are we going to have another big drought? Okay, right now it does not look like we've got a drought developing through the end of August. Okay, now that doesn't mean we couldn't see one develop in September and October, but right now it looks like about normal precipitation as we head through August. Now remember, precipitation at this time of the year is generally spotty. So there might be some spots that have more than normal precipitation, some spots that have way less, and others that are about normal. So it just, sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. All right, so let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Tomorrow is another first alert weather day. Okay, spotty storms in the forecast, but I'm thinking more and more I look at it, the less and less we're going to see rainfall tomorrow. Okay, Thursday, 86 for the high. Showers and thunderstorms will be more widespread than we've had the past few days. And look at those words, clearing and comfy for Friday. Friday evening looks great. Saturday looks delightful, still looks great on Sunday. So a good-looking 3-day stretch there. Actually, the first part of Friday is still going to be kind of sticky, but once we get into Friday evening, things are looking really, really good. So if you plan on heading down to Great American Ballpark for Fireworks Friday, should be a really nice evening for that down at Great American Ballpark. Saturday and Sunday look good too. And then we begin to get back to normal. Normal high's 86, so Monday and Tuesday close to normal. Slim chance of a storm by the time we get into Tuesday. Then when we get to beyond the 7-day forecast, we have another warming trend coming our way, but notice upper 80s again, one day in the 90s, every other one of those days in the upper 80s. The rainfall isn't too widespread until we get to the 10th. We may have to move that to the 9th, but for the most part, it looks like the 10th, 11th, 12th, and on, we may see more widespread rainfall around the tri-state. Now, when we get to beyond the 7 days forecast graphical version, we just call it 7-day plus, you see the high temperatures, the low temperatures. So we go below normal for that delightful weekend, and then we kind of hug normal on the high side, and we stay a little bit above normal as we head toward the 12th. Same thing on the low side. We kind of hug normal, and then we end up a little bit above normal as we head to the 12th. So overall, looks like pretty close to normal August at this point. A little warmer than normal, a little wetter than normal, but no extensive long-term heat wave in the forecast at this point, and no drought in the forecast at this point either. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a look, see what we've got going on here on Facebook as far as people taking part. All right. Penny Coriel says, good evening. Hi, Penny. Same thing with Elaine Jordan. J.D. Javisto. How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty well. How's the weather Wednesday? Well, Wednesday, J.D. looks like another hot and humid day. Heat index values once again up above the 100-degree mark in many locations. That's why it's a first alert weather day, and it looks like that's the last one. Still be kind of sticky on Thursday with some showers and thunderstorms, and then improving throughout the day on Friday, and by Friday evening things will be delightful around the tri-state. Kimberly Canifax says, good evening. Hi, Kimberly. Hope you're doing well today. And I think that's all the comments we have. So let me see. If you just happened to join the conversation, let me go ahead and go back over the 7-day forecast so you have the latest weather information, and then I will call it an evening. Okay. So the 7-day will pop up behind me here, and then I'll put you full screen. All right. There we go. There's the 7-day. So first alert weather day tomorrow, another day with heat index values over the 100-degree mark. The Reds play again. Thursday, scattered storms. It's the day that the front gets here, so the storms could be heavy. It still doesn't look too bad at this point. Looks like more rain-free than anything for Wednesday. Scattered storms Thursday with a high of 86. Friday, we're going to see the humidity begin to drop, and by evening, it's going to be really nice. Saturday and Sunday look delightful with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Monday and Tuesday back to normal with the chance of storms, a few of them anyway, coming back in on Tuesday. And right now we don't see any severe weather in the tri-state. Okay. Let's go to beyond the 7-day forecast. High temperatures 85 to 90 right on through that 7-day stretch. Looks like from the 6th through the 9th of August, probably pretty much dry. And then beginning to get wetter as we head to Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, the 8th, the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Again, that forecast of all 14 days, highs and lows, all in one graphic, shows you that after we cool off, we warm up to about normal when we go a little bit above normal as we head toward the 12th of August. And then the Climate Prediction Center's forecast has said that looks like from the last day of this, which is the 12th, on into the 24th of August, we're probably going to be a little warmer than normal, have a little bit more rainfall than normal, and again, the big questions most people have. We're not looking at an extended long heat wave like we're just getting through, and we're not looking at any kind of large-scale drought around the tri-state. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a very nice evening, and I will be back tomorrow at 7:15 with more.